Hi there, Pursuing Freedom friends. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope wherever you are and whenever you're listening to this, you are doing well and feeling safe and feeling healthy. We are recording this during the coronavirus pandemic. So some of the things we're going to talk about today are going to be specific to what we're living through right now. I've got a great interview for you guys today with Tonio Bianca. He is one of the co-founders with his wife of the Munkberg Bianca Group in the Orlando, Florida area. And Tonio was referred to me by two of our past podcast guests who I absolutely adore, Amit Buddha and Ginny Lee Deptula. So I have no doubt that he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge and inspiration to you guys today, and hope that you guys leave this call with some new energy, new ideas, and ready to move forward on your journey. So with no further ado, Tonio, I would love for you to introduce yourself and share a little bit about your story and your journey in real estate, and we'll just kind of roll from there.
Sure. First off, thank you again for having me. I've seen a lot of the past podcasts, and you had quite the who's list of people on here. So I'm honored to be here, especially when I feel like we're just getting started down here in Orlando. But yeah, initially, kind of got into real estate and construction, in the mid 2000s, down in Fort Myers, where I grew up, worked there, and then left right before, the meltdown in 07, 08. At the time, I was still in my early 20s, so really wasn't thinking much or looking at bigger, macro pictures as far as what might happen. And I left that job to go to Australia, New Zealand for 3 months and, just kind of have fun and explore the world, because I wasn't quite sure yet what I wanted to do. Came back from that, and obviously it was an interesting work climate, as you can imagine. Wasn't really, I wasn't going to be getting back into construction or real estate then, so went through a few different jobs. That ultimately, and along that journey, I met my wife around 2009, and she was, in real estate at that time, working with an independent brokerage where she would eventually become the broker of record. Around, I think, 2015 is when I got back into real estate. I had a friend who was working in the defaulted mortgage space. He had moved back here. I just started reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, had been consuming content nonstop on Bigger Pockets. I'd read Tony Robbins' Money Match the Game. And, he presented the idea with me to build a spec home in the Orlando area. So, went over everything with him. I was excited as all heck to do it, because I was looking for ways to start building wealth and, getting toward financial freedom for ourselves. And also just, creating a lifestyle where eventually my wife and I knew we were going to want to have kids, and we want to create a lifestyle where we would have more flexibility so we could spend time with them, and be there for special moments and take off when we wanted to. So lined up the deal, financing, we went ahead and, moved forward. We built a home. We sold it for, a good profit. I think just a hair under $70,000. And I made almost 80% of, my salary off of one deal. From there, we kept building, around one home each year. But prior to that, we also decided, backpedal a little. Right after that first home, I decided to leave the job I was at, and use the marketing skills and stuff I learned over the past few years to apply to the brokerage side of the business with my wife. So we started kind of building two different, revenue streams, one within the brokerage with her, and then also building spec homes on the side where, we'd reinvest our profits and, to the next deal each year, to the point where, last year we built 3 homes. Now this year we're building 7 homes. And slowly built up the brokerage as well. In the meantime, pretty much doubling our revenue every year for almost 4 years, and getting to a point that, we have a couple team members. We don't want to grow any further than that, but, it's enough where if we want to take off and go somewhere, we have some, we have agents that can, cover the brokerage while we're gone.
Awesome. So, okay, I've got a couple things I want to dig our teeth into here. So first and foremost, I would love to know, you're wearing a lot of hats now. You're building 7 homes in this year, which is 2020. I think you mentioned that you guys are selling 35 to 45 homes a year as well. I know that you also have a toddler at home, so you've got a lot going on. So talk to us a little bit about what does it look like to divide and conquer, and how do you manage all the responsibilities? Like, how do you and your wife navigate running a business together? And then how do you navigate who does what based on your natural gifts, strengths, experience, et cetera?
Sure. So, I mean, as far as, you have to just sit down and discuss, who wants to do what, where your strengths are, and really kind of figure out, bit by bit who's going to do what. You definitely need that clarity in organization if you're going to be successful together. Otherwise, you're going to end up arguing nonstop and probably hating each other and failing. For me, I've always enjoyed the marketing side. I've always, photography and videography is a big passion of mine. Handling the marketing side was always one of the things I absolutely loved doing. Then on the development side, from just creating essentially, something out of nothing has also been a big passion of mine between, designing floor plans, picking out interior, design features. And that's always been a lot of fun for me as well. So, I'm primarily focused on the investment side, the development side, marketing the business. And then, Christina's doing a lot, as far as the negotiations with buyers and sellers, handling contracts, helping out, scheduling. And then obviously she does an amazing job with our 2-year-old daughter as well. She has way more patience than I do. So, big shout out to her for everything that she does to help keep everything together at home as well.
So that was going to be my next question, because you mentioned that you guys liked the idea of partnering up in real estate, and that the idea of being available for your future children and having the ability to take time off. And I'm curious, now that your business is succeeding as well as it is, and you've got basically 2 pillars of successful businesses going on. What does it look like for you now? Are you enjoying the time off, and are you able to incorporate that into your life? Or do you feel like now you're at that juncture in your journey where you're trying to seek more balance? Like, have you been able to maintain the vision, I guess, that you were seeking now that you're enjoying this success?
I think more so than myself. I'm definitely still struggling with that, because with some of the goals that, I put in place from the get-go, as far as, getting the financial freedom, that we finally started to seeing a little success, it can be tough to turn that off when you have that ultimate goal in mind, when you have those goals written down and you're working toward that. Example, I've always wanted to own a self-storage facility. So, going to be constantly working toward that. And that's part of what the development side is, building up the necessary capital to eventually, tackle a deal like that. And because we decided to keep our team small, if we're not producing, then we're not making anything on the brokerage side. So it can definitely be tough to turn that off. So if we do go away for a vacation, I found that, it takes a day or two to kind of, get relaxed and to be able to enjoy that moment. So it's definitely a balance that I'm definitely still working on finding, now that we're kind of hitting our stride. I think Christina does a much better job at it than I do. And, she definitely has to remind me from time to time to, kind of, hey, put the phone down, or, put the MacBook down. Let's just go for a walk and enjoy the moment, with our daughter and with our little puppy.
I love it. Well, I appreciate the honesty there, because I don't think anybody has gone through the journey that you're on and not experienced what you're experiencing there. What does your team look like nowadays?
Yes, I mean, it's Christina and I, primarily, as far as the deals that we're doing, but, there's 2 other agents in their brokerage who kind of do their own thing. And then we have one other agent, who's kind of a team member directly with us. So, a lot of times we're passing off deals to her. If we don't have the bandwidth to handle it, then, we're passing off deals to her. If they're in an area of town that, better suited for her than us, we're going to pass it off to her as well. Since we've scaled up the development side now, there is a little less bandwidth to handle the brokerage side. We're kind of, in a good spot where we're picking and choosing the clients that we want to work with, or, whether they be good friends, family, or just, people that are looking in, or working in our primary neighborhood or within, like a 5-mile radius of that. But, we've come to learn that, we're not for everybody. So, if it's something that's not for one of our agents either, then, we're either going to refer that out or just, give them a referral for somebody who might be a better fit than us. If we're not, aggressive salespeople, we're definitely more in line with the, attract, don't chase, and just coming from a place of contribution. So, we tend to attract those types of people. And if we kind of tell that it's not that type, then, we're probably going to refer to somebody else at this point that, maybe might be a better fit for that.
I love it. Well, what you said there, we're not for everybody, is so important for everyone listening to take to heart. I've talked about this many times on the podcast, but the best advice I ever got was from a business coach of mine who said that 25% of people will love you no matter what. 25% of people will never love you no matter what. And the 50% in between are fair weather friends. But you can have a happy life and a successful business if you just focus on your 25%. And I think that it's hard for folks to embrace that concept because so many of us are propelled by the fear and the uncertainty of not knowing what the future holds. And so we feel this compulsion to cling on to every opportunity that we have, even if it's not our 25%. And in doing so, we're actually taking away from our ability to better serve the right people. So I love that you touched upon that. When you talk about attraction marketing, what specifically are you guys doing strategically to try to attract the right kind of people that are in alignment with who you are as people?
Yeah, so from a social media marketing perspective, or and even email, we're producing content that is helpful. It's not, we're not pushing for people to get their home value or go check out, look through our website for homes. There's plenty of that going around, and if you have the right systems in place, that can actually be a great business model and it can work for people. For us, that's not it. So, a lot of the stuff we're doing, as well as, and I think it's a big help for others right now, given everything going on with COVID-19, is, I've been reaching out to other business owners, within our neighborhood and helping them out with promotional videos for their business. A lot of the small businesses that have been forced to close their doors, they're taking a big financial hit right now. Without other stuff to do, I thought, it might be a good spot to potentially help them, start creating some marketing material for them. So a lot of them are, they're not creating a ton of, high quality video or, photography. And that's something that I enjoy doing on the side anyway. So, and I just have fun doing it because, from a creative aspect, I really enjoy doing that. It's a nice little break for me to do something like that. It satisfies the whole creative side of me, and then it helps benefit them as well. So I see it as a win-win for us, to be helping them out, also, something we're doing, since we still have none of our closings have been affected yet. I imagine it's going to happen eventually, but what we're also doing is, for anybody that's, in closings nearby us, or depending on where they are, we're going to a lot of the local businesses and getting gift cards as part of our closing gifts for them. It used to be, bottle of champagne or, Christmas ornaments or, cutting board or carving board. Now we're trying to do stuff from that respect that, it's also a good closing gift, but it also helps out the local businesses, by buying, gift cards that, are direct cash for them right now while they're not open.
I love this idea. So I'm a big fan of really breaking it down in layman's terms. Like, I love this idea, but can you really kind of lay out the how-to? So do you start by creating a list of all the places that you tend to visit, or are you reaching out to your clients as well and asking them to suggest local businesses? And then do you have like an organized approach to rolling out this program, if you will, of, how many videos you're going to do each week, or how many businesses you're going to connect with on a weekly basis, or are you doing it a little bit more organically than that as you think of people?
A little more organically. I try to do one a month. There was so we've also formed. I also helped form a downtown. So Baldwin Park's the main neighborhood, is the neighborhood where we live in, and it's a very small, close knit downtown area. I think there's maybe 50 storefronts total or small businesses on the main drag. So we formed a merchant committee essentially, and a big part of that is just trying to promote the neighborhood and those small businesses within it, because it's kind of tucked away in our neighborhood at the center. A lot of people don't know about it, have never been there, or haven't even heard about it. So my first big project with that last year was creating a video that really highlighted everybody in there, along with the local businesses. I'll send you a link to that so that you can check it out, or just include it in the show notes or something. But
awesome.
I think we had a great. It came off really well. I think we've had, I want to say close to, I think between 60 and 70,000 views of that video now. So,
wow.
While it's not a viral video with millions of views, but 60, 70,000 views for, a small niche neighborhood like this, I think it's pretty awesome. And it gives a lot of great exposure for the other small businesses. And aside from that, it's creating those individual spotlight videos is what we've been doing now. Whether it's focusing on, a medical spa or the local brewery, or, the local chiropractor, those videos, I think, have it can help them out a lot. It can help position them, from a quality video can absolutely, give it can help the business look better than, something that might be shot on a cell phone that's, kind of dark and blurry and you can't really tell. I think it's good for brand awareness for those businesses, and they're very appreciative of that fact.
Oh my gosh. It's genius. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're doing exactly just what I love to see people do, which is you're giving value. In the process, you're creating visibility, which is ultimately making you a lighthouse of someone who's genuinely caring and trying to serve the community. And that's attraction marketing 101. It's like, all the fancy words, attraction marketing, lead gen, all that kind of stuff, just I feel like makes it less personal. But what you're doing is actually very personal and very human. And that's what attracts people to you. Okay, so along those lines, so you're recording these videos because you have experience with videography. Then are you then promoting the videos on your social platforms? And is it are the videos branded to Munkberg Bianca Group in any way, or is it strictly a video that you happen to have produced behind the scenes and nobody even knows you did the production of it? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and I love that you asked that, because so many videos where other agents are trying to do something like this, they have the branding's all about them. They're in the video, and it's almost promoting them, just as much as it's promoting the business. I don't like being on camera. I don't think people, Christina, my wife and partner, is much better on camera. She sounds much more authentic than I am. I found that out the hard way a few years ago when we had a, kind of like an About Us type video. I actually, hired somebody else to come in and film a video with us. We did one version with her and then one version with me. Her version came out amazing. Great feedback. She just came off, it was perfect. And then I listened to my version and I sound like a robot. It was bad. I immediately deleted it, and it never saw the light of day after that. So, always I try to get her on camera as much, but I don't like, for the videos that we're doing for these businesses, I don't like either one of us to be on camera. I want it to be about that business. So, I will create two versions of the video. Essentially, it's the same video with just a different ending. So the first one that I give to them, it has, it's the normal video with everything about them, and finishes with like the logo, the business's logo. So they can post that on their social media. They can use that, potentially snippets of that for their website. It doesn't have anything to do with us. The one that I'll post, and for us, I'll just swap out and put our logo at the end, just saying, produced by the Munkberg Bianca Group. And that's like the small little tag I'll do at the end. And we'll still, we'll post that, we'll promote it, we'll link back to them, and really just try to help like I said, raise the awareness of that specific business to people that may not have heard about it before or may not be familiar with what they do.
I love this so much. Now, do you have that content also living on a blog on your website of some sort?
Most of them I put up on our YouTube channel. So I'll send you a link for that as well.
Awesome.
So a lot of the videos I'll put on there, but otherwise, there's, I think only like 2 or 3 that I don't have up on there. Some of the videos are a little more, I don't know, different humor that may not be a good fit for us to put on our website, but for the most part, they're all on our YouTube channel.
Awesome. Well, so I love what I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing, because for the listeners, this is just like, it's absolutely genius for a multitude of reasons. Number one is that if you are watching this video on YouTube, or if you go to YouTube to watch this, you can see Tonio's face light up when he talks about creating video and the creative process. So it's clearly something that is one of his natural born talents. It's one of his gifts. It's something he enjoys. He has fun doing it. He's good at it. And it moves the needle in his business. Like, that is the sweet spot. And the beautiful thing with our industry is that if you can figure out what you're good at and what you enjoy and have fun doing it, you will attract the right kind of clients and you can have fun doing this business. So I love that you're doing that. And then on top of that, you're taking the content and you're using it to further build your brand by housing it on YouTube, putting it on social media. So I just love it so much. I mean, I love when people are doing what they're naturally good at and what you love to do, because of course it would get you results, because it doesn't seem like it would be a grind for you because it's what you love to do, right?
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, you can only feel so good by yourself. So, when you have a great experience, the first thing you want to do is share with someone you love, right? When you hear stories about, how their customers just see the video and thought how amazing it was, I think that's the biggest part that I like hearing. Will it end up bringing business to us? Maybe, I hope so, but, I'm not going to count on it. It's just something that I enjoy doing. It's kind of, some people like to go fishing. I like to take photos. I like to shoot video. So it, kind of works out that way.
It's awesome.
All right.
I mean, everything you're doing here is awesome. The combination of giving value to community, using your natural born talents to create content, leveraging social media to be a lighthouse and be visible, and basically having fun doing it. And in the meantime, honoring your priorities with your family. I just love everything. One of the things we were talking about before we started recording is something that I know Amit had mentioned too, and I think it's a big part of your business and your marketing and also your real estate community, which is Curator. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that is and how you utilize their services in your business?
Yes, I mean, Curator is, a marketing company, all-in-one marketing company when it comes down to it. And, they have a lot of the same values that we have as far as, coming from a place of contribution, attracting and not chasing. And, a lot of the, I'm not sure how many clients they have. They probably have, a couple thousand clients nationwide at this point. But they have a mastermind group with all those agents. So, that mastermind group is one of the best parts as well about them is just, so many of the people in there, because they come from a place of contribution, have those same set of ideals. A lot of them are sharing, what's working for them, and so openly that it's been a great part of us growing on the brokerage side. And so, we've been with them, I think since I teamed up with Christina since 2016. So, just hitting 4 years now.
And what kind of service do they provide in the way of marketing?
Sure. So, I mean, our website is from them. That's, constantly being updated by them. They're providing us content that we can go ahead and then share or kind of retool to use for ourselves. They're giving us different video ideas. A lot of the technology behind our website, the CRM and some of the other tools we have were developed by them. But they do a great job of making sure everything links together and talks together so that, nothing does fall through the cracks when somebody does reach out to us.
Awesome. I love it. And then how often do you attend the mastermind meetings?
So there's not like a set, they have different different meetings throughout the week between a couple of different ones. I want to say like 2 different videos a week that they're doing. But there's a refresh. There's they have a happy hour type thing that they're doing as well. But that's usually bi-weekly at least. That if I'm not making it to the live meeting, then I can always go back and watch the recording, because there's always great bits of wisdom that you can find in each one of those recordings.
Yeah, I mean, because I love that. I love learning what other people are doing, and obviously this business evolves so quickly, which is probably what makes it so addicting. And to be able to stay up to date with our colleagues, and I love how interconnected our world is becoming thanks to social media and podcasting. It's like we're making friends all over the place now and can learn from people everywhere. So I love that. Awesome. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time, especially with everything going on, to hop on here and share your story and these awesome tidbits for the listeners. If folks want to follow you or get in touch with you, what's the best way to find you?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I have most social profiles, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. YouTube's probably just better just for, consuming any of the video content we do. But, I'll send a link for the actual social profiles, and, probably either email or just, phone. So if anybody just wants to reach out, I'm pretty easily accessible.
Awesome. Well, you guys should definitely go check out Tonio's videos on YouTube, because they're very amazing and inspiring, and ways that you can swipe ideas to implement in your own business. And be sure to subscribe and like his videos if you do that, because it helps all of us who are putting content out there, as we all know, to have as many subscribers and followers and likes and loves and all those good things. So thanks again, Tonio. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, guys, I hope this finds you well and keeping healthy. And as always, I appreciate you. If there's any content that you'd like to find, please let me know. And if you're enjoying the content here on the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever you're consuming it, because it continues to help us attract awesome people like Tonio, who are willing to take the time to share their story, their ideas, and help you on your journey to success and happiness. I love and appreciate you. Make it an awesome day.